guys, welcome back. In this video we are looking at Possum Kingdom by the Toadies. Probably their biggest hit and certainly one of my favorite songs. I still listen to them, but for a long while, and just great music, fun to play. This one has way more chords than you would think, and it is quite a challenge, so that'll be something nice to get out of this. He's using some not so common fingerings. And a lot of raking, good movement for the right hand, muting for the left hand, but some repetition in there as well. Of course, there's a lot of repeated chords. So let's jump right into it. First chords we're going to talk about, E7. Turn this down a little bit. So just fingers 1 and 2 there. And then an A major chord, and you're going to play it with a bar here, because you have to incorporate that little pull off with finger 2. So you're going to be going between E7 and A. That's going to be the little movement you want to get really comfortable with. So we're going to go over all the little variations of that right now, because it makes sense to connect all that, even though it's not necessarily connected straight through in the song. You're going to want to work on it that way just to understand that there's not too much changing. So the intro, what it opens with, E7, and then I'm going to use my left hand to mute, and I get 2 rakes there. And then I'm going to go to the A chord. First thing I pluck is that open string 5, and then I'm going to give you something specific to think about here, but what we really, I'll give you a way to think about it all the way through, but the target notes are going to be that open string 5 and that pull off. The rest is just kind of keeping the momentum of the right hand. So hit that 5th string open, and then we're going to strum through to get that string 3 fret 2 in, pull off, and then try to aim for string 4 with a downstroke, and then string 3 with an upstroke. And you're going to hear him catch other strings in there. It's just that he's getting back to that E7 chord, so you might hear something like that open G string, because you have to lift off of the A chord to get back. But it's happening so fast that it's just, you know, it's the groove, right? That's what really matters. So I'm thinking about trying to aim for strings 4 and 3, but really it's just, you know, if we strum the chord, doesn't really matter. Just as long as you're in position for that A chord and then going back to resolve that sound to that E7. So putting that all together. So getting that rake and that open 5th string, sorry. It's kind of how I'm moving into that A chord, still able to get that rake, and then I'm focusing on getting that 5th string. Repeat that, but there is a changing time signature in here. We're not going to get into the details of that. All you need to know is what that sound is. We're repeating the exact same thing, but when you get to the A chord, you're going to hit your 5th string open, and then you're going to do 2 pull-offs. Just going to repeat those last 3 picks or strums on the A chord. So, officially it is a change of time signature, but I don't think that's necessarily what they're thinking about. Maybe they were, I don't know. But you just need to hear that riff on the A chord happening once or twice, and it alternates consistently throughout the tune. So, all the way through that intro. doing that twice. So that can take a little bit of work. Practice that transition of E7 to A there. Let that thumb shift, right? Let your thumb follow your finger. Move the whole hand, move the whole arm. But keeping the movement small, of course. One of the variations that we run into is more steady raking, right? So that would be on the pre-chorus. So I'm just doing 4 rakes instead of 2. So intro was intro and verse, pause, and then rake, pre-chorus, rake, 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 rake. So small movements, work on how that left hand is muting. That's where you're going to get, I think, basically all your muting throughout the song. All right, so that third strum pattern or rhythm comes in after the interlude and goes like this. So I'm just kind of catching lightly that 6th string, and it's all about those up strums and then raking. So down, up, down, up, rake, rake, down, up, rake, rake, down, up, bass note once the first time, twice the second time. That can be a little bit tricky. It's just managing where your pick is going. And you can play around with how you mute. I think you can get that sound a couple different ways. You might try muting with your right hand. I'm just using fingers 3 and 4 to kind of lay down on the strings there. I didn't expect on that one, like, inspect on what he was doing exactly. I think it's something like that, though. All right, that brings us to the chorus. I got some chords to talk about here. Starts out with an F sharp minor. I'm going to call out those fret numbers from string 6 to string 1. That is 2, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2. F sharp minor. And then A major, using a finger 1 bar there. I'm leaving string 1, oops, leaving that out, but I just make sure my pick doesn't go through it, but you can work on muting that as well. E7. And then we jump up to this G sharp 7 chord, which kind of an oddball one. String 6, fret 4, string 5, fret 3, string 4, fret 4, and string 3, fret 5. And then from there, we're going to jump back to an A chord, and then a D over F sharp. This is an inversion of a D chord. So string 6, fret 2, string 4 open, string 3, fret 2, and string 2, fret 3. I'm using fingers 1, 2, and 4. A lot of people go for finger 3 here. Don't recommend it because they end up kind of tight. These fingers don't want to separate. Get used to using that pinky. And then that is either going to go back into the verse to that, or it's going to transition into the bridge, which would bring us to an E7 and our G sharp 7. So I'm going to play it that way. That's the way I did it in the opening. All right, so again, chorus chords: F sharp minor, A major, E7, G sharp 7, A major, D over F sharp, and then E7 with a palm mute, and G sharp 7 with a palm mute. And that's where it's going to transition in the bridge. That's what we'll talk about next. So that rhythm is okay, so you're going to be moving from chord to chord pretty quickly. So you're going to get some breaks in there. You might catch some open strings. I'm just kind of thinking, kind of like that. Heavier hits on those downbeats. So heavy, soft, or loud, soft, loud, rake, rake. Oh, that's the wrong chord, sorry. A little bit more at pace there. All right, so that brings us into the bridge. We have quite a few chords to think about. A couple, chords that you won't see as frequently. So good little workout for the left hand there. And the sequence of the chords might be a little bit tricky to memorize at first, but I think as with anything, you listen to the song, it just kind of gets in your ear that way, and then it just doesn't sound like it can do anything else except what it's supposed to, right? Your ear just absorbs that information. But you'll pick up on other little things as you work through it. So first order of business is going to make sure that you can get those chord shapes down, work on the transitions, and then start putting the rhythm in. So we've got two other chords coming in here in the bridge. One is this C sharp over G sharp. That is string 6 fret 4, string 5 fret 4, string 4 fret 3, and string 3 fret 4. And the other chord is B major, a little bar chord there. So just all I'm doing with the index is string 5 fret 2, and then my ring finger is barring the 4th fret of strings 4, 3, and 2. So another note on that C sharp over G sharp chord, you're always going to be coming from G sharp 7 into that. So you want to instruct your hand how to move from G sharp 7 to C sharp over G sharp. It's not that big of a movement, but I would bet that these are chords that maybe haven't played so much. You want to make sure that you take a little bit of time with that, because otherwise if you just try and make it happen, the left hand's just going to jump all over the place. But it's really close. Fingers 1 and 3 are just going to switch strings. So I'm on string 5 and string 4. They just switch positions. All right, just boom. So now I'm here on string 5 fret 4 and string 4 fret 3, and the pinky slides back 1 fret. So I want to be able to see that and feel that. So, just not playing and watching that left hand shift and just kind of feel it so brain understands it. So then when you're trying to add other stuff to it, the rhythm or whatever, or other chord transitions, the left hand's feeling good. Okay, so bridge is kind of long. I'm going to go through the chord progression that we're going to see 3 times, and then I'll talk about how it comes out of the bridge. Okay, so first chord is A, next is G sharp 7, then C sharp over G sharp, F sharp minor, G sharp 7, C sharp over G sharp, D over F sharp, G sharp 7, C sharp over G sharp, and then B major. And there on that B, every other chord we're just hitting once initially. On the B, we're going to go down, 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 up. So, like I said, it can be a little tricky to remember, but we're always going back to these 2 chords and then something else. So So what I think is important there is that bass line where we're hearing that G sharp and F sharp a lot. So all the way through the bridge, I'm just going to play it. I'm not going to talk through it too much here. So the rhythm initially is just rest, strum, and then we're going to pick up with the chorus rhythm that we played. So you'll see what I mean when we get there. Oh, and when we're coming out of the progression the third time, it's going to go from B to A, D over F sharp, E7. Okay? So all the way through the bridge. Repeat. Now this is the third time through. We pick up the chorus rhythm. So a little bit more at speed. So, like I said, probably the most difficult part of the tune, just because a lot to remember and really got to have that facility in that left hand. And that leaves us with one more part and then a little bonus we'll throw in at the end. So we have the interlude. Pretty straightforward. It's basically another substitute for our, but just in terms of the chords, that it's the harmonies that are being represented there. It's a different riff, so we're going to have this little palm mute happening on string 6. So that's just open, fret 3, fret 4, and I'm using my first and second finger there. And then I'm going to use my third finger. I'm going to play string 6, fret 5 with a slight bend. And then I'm going to pop a little bit with an accent, that string 5 open. And then you repeat that, and you do this twice. So that's what I was saying, it's the same thing as the opening chord progression. So. So on and so forth. I'm doing all down picking there. The only up pick I'm doing is on that open string 5. So you're getting 2 A's there, but I think you can hear a distinct change of sound, or just color on there, where it's slightly palm muted, a little darker, and then all right. Now for the little bonus lick. Can't do this exactly the way that he's doing it because he's using a whammy bar. That's kind of part of the effect of this lick, but found a little solution that we can implement if you don't have a whammy bar. So works around this E7 chord. So you're going to slide in string 5, fret 7 twice, string 2, fret 5, string 3, fret 7, and then since we don't have the whammy bar to loosen the strings, I'm going to jump to string 4, fret 5, bend that a half step, and then just give a little bit of wide vibrato there, because he's just using that whammy bar, but right, we can kind of get that same effect. And then string 4 here, fret 7, and then 6, and then just slide off. So that is everything, guys. Lots of great stuff to work on in there to get rhythm chops up, working on muting, pull-offs, some bending, some sliding, some kind of aggressive playing, which is always fun. And the chords in particular, I think, are a nice bonus. So take your time with it. If you have any questions, let me know. Be happy to help out. And see you in the next video. Thanks.